11:03. It is. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you guys for like taking time out of your day, especially in the middle of like a school day. We really appreciate it. And today we're gonna be starting the general body meeting number two. I'm your vice president, Shaun. I guess we get to introduce everybody. So I guess all the officers say something. Okay.
I'm Fozhan.
That's the president and co-founder of the club. Whoa, whoa. And
Following the predator. I'm Joshua, I'm the vet head.
okay. Okay. So round of applause for all the officers for being here and for yourselves. Okay, let's just get started. So we're gonna start with the icebreaker, and this is kind of something that I came up with like last night, kind of last second. Oh wait, Camille, I almost forgot about you. I forgot. For sorry, Zoom people. Camille, shout yourself out.
Hi everyone, my name's Camille. I'm the Sharp GPT co-lead here with Shaun. Nice to meet everyone, even though I'm over here on the Zoom.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Camille. Okay, another round of applause. She's basically like the project lead of the club, I would say. Okay. Well, anyways, hopefully there's nobody else in the Zoom missing. Okay, no. All right. So we're gonna start with a little icebreaker that I kind of chose last second because I was thinking about it. And so it's a little random, but let's start. Okay, well, here's the agenda for the day. We're gonna start off with the icebreaker, and then we're gonna do our AI tools workshop, and then we're gonna have some announcements at the end, and then we're just gonna close it off. But yeah, okay. So, how many of you, with a show of hands, have heard of the birthday paradox? Wow, really? I thought everybody was gonna raise their hand. Okay, let me explain it really quickly. It's kind of like this confusing concept, intuitively, but it's like a paradox rooted in like probability. But basically, the probability that or if 23 people are in a room together, there's a 50% chance that two of them share the same birthday, which if you think about it, doesn't really make sense because like that's just covering 23 dates out of 365. So how does that work? But like with like some graph theory and like there's like some beautiful videos online that I'll let you guys search up about. Like since everybody's like connected in some certain type of way, here are the percentages, but 23 is what it takes to get to 50 a 50% chance that two people share it. So today we're going to be sharing our birthdays and hopefully two of us share the same birthday. So if you hear your birthday and people on Zoom start typing in the chat what your birthday is. But if you hear your birthday, just shout something out. But I'm just gonna go down the line of people. I don't think we have 23 people today, so it's gonna be less than a 50% chance, but hopefully we get lucky. Okay, so you.
May 10th.
May 10th, okay.
February 22nd.
Okay. Okay.
March 22nd.
Okay. I'm December 14th.
March 7th.
Okay. Ooh, March.
October 7th.
Okay.
July 7th.
July 7th. Okay.
Close, March 8th.
Oh, lucky or unlucky. October 8th. April 8th. May 14th. October 14th. I don't think anybody. Wait. Yeah, there are. We have a June 12th and a September 25th and a December 8th. So no, not enough people. But I thought that'd be a kind of a fun thing to do. Here, you could see on the graph. I also didn't count out how many people we have.
Like 15.
Yeah, so there was only like, say if you have 16, there's only like a 28% chance that we were even gonna have like somebody that matched. But here are the probabilities. At 42 people in a room, it's a 91% chance that two of them share a birthday, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, you guys should look into that. I didn't know a lot of people didn't know, but I thought everybody knew about this. But you guys should look into it. There's like some cool videos visualizing it online, and it's pretty cool paradox. Okay. Thank you for participating in the icebreaker, everybody. And now we will start our workshop. Let me close this chat. All right, so today we're going to be talking about AI tools. Here's like a little like picture I found online of like a lot of them. And obviously there's a lot. And yeah, let's just get into it without further ado. Okay, so why should I use AI tools? I could tell you that you should use them for reasons like boosting your productivity, or like maybe you could kind of segue into like a little hustle to make you some money or something. But at the end of the day, all the reasons I'm gonna tell you is just for you to save time. These, like at the end of the day, these are tools, and so like a lot of them are kind of made to help you throughout your day. Okay, and so we're gonna start with like the most basic tools that everybody knows about, which is like the chatbots and the text models, like the chat GPTs. So I have two slides on these types of models, but first let's start with how should I use them? So the best modern day learning, or these are like the best modern day learning tools. Use them as learning tools, not really as servants. I know you guys probably just be putting your whole homework PDFs in ChatGPT and and you're like, okay, what's the output? Especially as comp sci majors. But like if you guys have really tried to learn with these tools as opposed to like going out and like watching YouTube videos or reading articles or going through docs, they're really good at teaching, especially if you like specify, tell me step by step on what to do on like how this works. They're really good, and so you should use them in that way. And then I have a couple tips here about chatbots. Let me move this in the top right real quick. I have a couple tips here that I want to share with you guys. So I don't know if you guys are too familiar with like large language models, but they have context windows. And if you can, you probably can tell what that means just by looking at the word. But basically, a context window for a large language model is how much data it could input. Because obviously you can't just feed a large language model like, trillions of words and then it'll take everything at the same like amount. The more you give a large language model, usually there's diminishing returns on how much it'll be able to inference from what you give it. So like for accuracy, a tip that I have is that whenever you want the most accurate answer out of these chatbots, you create a new window and then you ask it your question because basically chat history covers up a lot of the context window in a large language model. So for example, if you have like this like long thread, it's going to take in as much as it can to try to like, help with context. And it thinks it's doing like the right thing by doing that. But at the end of the day, if you ask it a question and you want like a ground truth from it, it's going to try to use the context and it's going to like hallucinate sometimes. So that's just a tip that I have. And it helps to be uh, more precise in its answers. And that's kind of like what my next bullet point says too, is when you're asking a chatbot something, just be more precise. It really does help. Even like adding that extra adverb adjective to your sentence to try to better describe what you're trying to ask it is really powerful. And like there's like papers out there that tells you or that tell you like how prompting and small changes in prompting like that really like improve the accuracy of large language models. So take that into consideration. An example of this, of being more precise, if you're using it to learn, saying something like explain this step by step is a great like a good idea. And there's like a whole sub branch of like prompt engineering that we're not really going to go over today. If you guys are interested in like prompt engineering, we could have our own like workshop on that. But basically like there's tons of ways to use these models to like get the most out of them. But yeah, something like explain step by step is a good example. And finally, for this slide at least, that these models are really strong summarization tools. So like say like you want you don't want to read a whole PDF, and now you guys probably already know this, but you could paste it all into ChatGPT and be like, give me a 4 sentence summary, and it does a pretty good job. I wouldn't say like base like your homework off of something like that. But if you're just trying to like learn something on your own and you just want a quick response, definitely do something like that. And so this photo on the right side that I have actually is something that I found like just scrolling, like I think LinkedIn or Instagram Reels or something. And then this was like something from the Open AI president on how to prompt. I think it's specifically GPT-o1, but I think this is a good like frame of reference for like all types of large language models you guys are trying to use. So the way he does it here is he has a goal at the very top, and then he has the return format in the middle, and then some warnings to be careful of, and then the context dump at the very end. And like apparently, according to the OpenAI president, and he's probably a pretty trustworthy source, this is the best way to prompt your models. And like if you're like me, and sometimes you're like, trying to fix some code. And so like you dump your one file and then you're like, oh, can you make in the middle after you dump the file, you're like, oh, can you make that match with this file? And then you dump that file and you're like, oh yeah, this is probably another file that you would like somewhere down the line. And then you dump that one. It's gonna get lost. It can only inference so much. And it usually still does a decent job, but to get the most out of them, you should probably have it in this format. So yeah, that's just one tip. And then I have another slide on chatbots / text models. Move this top right, sorry. Just moving Camille around. So chat, which is the best, right? That's probably what you guys want to know. Which chat model or text model or large language model should I use? And it's all kind of up to you. Like there's a lot of leaderboards out there that use like a lot of like different types of tests to evaluate large language models, and a lot of them are really good and trustworthy. But honestly, whatever you feel most comfortable with, all of them are going to be good. As long as you're not, using like some like open source one with like 50 users on it or something, like they're all going to be pretty effective in probably what you're trying to do. But according to most benchmarks, I don't know if you guys have heard of Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This is like the top of the top for most benchmarks. Actually, oh, I have it in the bottom. OpenAI's O3, which is is kind of paywalled, and I think Claude 3.5 is paywalled, but you could do like some free trials and stuff there. Rivals a lot of it on a lot of these benchmarks. So those are two pretty impressive models that I would look into if you're interested. And so now I actually wanted to go around and I wanted to ask all the officers what they use because I mean, if you use these two, you're really trying to get the most out of your modeling, and I commend you for that. But all of us probably use different things. So I'll start first. Personally, I use ChatGPT just because I started with ChatGPT and I don't know, it's just what I'm most comfortable with. And like whenever I type in like C, like look, wait, hold up. I wanted to show this real quick. Like if I just type up sin C, it's like the first thing that pops up. So it's just super easy to get into. Oh shoot, I got lost. So let me go back to here. Sorry, Camille. All right, there. There you go. No, I don't. I don't use the pin feature. Okay, so I wanted to ask around. So what do you guys use? I'll start with you, Joshua. What model do you use? Do you use AI or like chat models?
Yeah, hence recently I've been doing my BFIT on it, and I'm an honor student.
Yeah.
And I use it for the thesis. I decided to look into more language models since I'm part of the AI club.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's recently changed from me using ChatGPT to a fairly limited amount to now using DeepSeek and
Yeah,
doing
DeepSeek is
more
probably one.
So yeah, right now DeepSeek.
Oh, cool. What about you, Shaun?
ChatGPT, I use Claude once in a while
I
for
see.
certain things, but mostly ChatGPT.
I see. What about you? I know you have a hot take. I want you to share it with us actually. Make sure they could hear you over here. I want them to hear you and berate you. No,
We can talk about that. Okay, so I have something that a lot of people disagree with, but believe firmly that Gemini is better for like everyday tasks. Generally, like if you ask if you ask questions like oh, what should I do if I have these ingredients, what should I cook with it? I think Gemini has a more human response generally. But on a day-to-day basis for like writing tasks or for debugging, stuff like that, I use the O3 Mini. O3 Mini High, I think is the name of the model. And I've been playing around with running DeepSeek locally as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah.
is cool. I'm gonna get into that in a little bit.
Yeah. No, because when you run it locally, it's on your machine. Nothing's being sent, it's just a model on your computer. So
Okay.
fun stuff.
Well, thank you for telling us about Gemini. I don't know if I trust you though. Gemini seems trash. Okay, it's fine.
Try it. We can try
No,
it.
actually, apparently it has, but okay, I'm gonna talk about it in a second, actually. Okay. What about you, Fozhan? What do you use? GPT. Okay, so we're like an open AI type of club, I guess. But that's fine. All right. And so those are some examples of models that we use. Obviously, all of us get Copilot free through the school. ChatGPT has like some type of limitations if you want to use like their best models. And then it kind of if you like overuse it, it throws you to a trash one for like a little bit. So if you just want a good consistent one, Copilot is a good way to go. And then yeah, what he was saying, DeepSeek, everyone probably knows about it already, but it's like the new open source model, and which means you could literally download it onto your computer and run it offline, which is crazy to me because like I just imagine these things are always connected to the internet somehow. But you could just get all that information and all that inference power offline, which is insane. And so if you don't want to trust our word for which ones to use, there's a lot of benchmarking. I'm gonna put you in the middle, Camille. There's a lot of benchmarking leaderboards out there for large language models. Here are a couple that I found. LiveBench is a pretty good one. I think some of these specialize in certain things, and I couldn't tell you what specifically LiveBench specializes in, but it's a good one. We have the Open LLM leaderboard on Hugging Face, and Hugging Face, I don't know if you guys are too familiar, but that's where like a lot of open source models are usually posted and a lot of fine-tuned models. So if you want to find a model and doing something specific, that's probably a good place to go. But my personal favorite, and I think the most interesting site for seeing like language model benchmarks is lmarena.ai. And basically, the way it works is it's all like user submitted like ratings. It's like user submitted ratings. So the way it works is you get on LM Arena and then you could put in whatever prompt you want and like it blindly gives you two responses and then you choose which one is better. And off of millions of those replies, it benchmarks or makes this leaderboard according to what the top and what people like the most. So like right now, the new Grok model from like XAI is like apparently the number one. Gemini 2.0 though, like what you said, people, well, that's a newer one, but Gemini 2.0 is like really high up and people think it's like really user friendly. So maybe he's not capping. And then ChatGPT 4.0 is a popular one on there. DeepSeek R1 is top 5 and it's open source. So the fact that it's that like promising is kind of insane. And there's also like on this website, there's like a web dev leaderboard. So if you want like if you use your language models for like more coding tasks, they have a ranked one for web development. And I think the top one on that one is actually Claude 3.5. But yeah. Yeah, so that's it for the chatbot and text models. So now we're going to go to some different tools here now. I wanted to brush over this one pretty quickly. It's the generative art tools. I never really use them, but I know they're kind of popular and I also know they're kind of controversial at the same time. But what is it good for? I would say I would personally use it if I were going to, if I want like placeholder images for a website and like I don't really want to go out and find or I don't know what to put on there yet. Or like free resources for like a PowerPoint or something. I would definitely use it for there. It's good inspiration for like simple logos if you want to like have like a project idea or a startup. Generative art is pretty good at making logos. But it's good to kind of point out that these models aren't really that great at a lot of things. Like I'm sure you guys have seen like the generative art out there with like humans with like 8 fingers, and then like I don't know, the videos are like horrifying, or it's like dogs like exploding and then like turning into like 3 people walking down the street or something. It's like what the heck? But so be careful. Obviously they're not at the strongest point right now. But I mean they're pretty useful. So here's some couple of things. I know you guys probably heard of Dolly, which is OpenAI's generative art. OpenArt is another popular one that I was looking into. And I think they have like a free program for a little bit. And then Adobe Firefly, if you have like the whole Adobe package, I'm pretty sure this comes free with it. So yeah, so those are some generative art tools. All right, next one. And so now I want to get into a lot of people here are probably comp sci. So everyone lock in for this one. We're going to talk about developer AI tools. And there's a lot of good ones. So this is what I would use when making products. And a lot of these kind of cover different areas. So I'm just going to go one by one here and kind of explain each one. So DeepSeek and Llama 3.3, or just any Llama model and any DeepSeek model, these are the open source ones. So if you want to incorporate a large language model into your project, and you want to start running it locally, these are the easiest things to incorporate because there's no cost that comes with it. And you could just make as many calls as your computer can handle. So I would definitely look into incorporating that if you want to like use that in a project. And I actually wanted to give this over to Soroush when I'm talking about Blaze Pose and MediaPipe because I don't have much experience with it, but I know he does.
So Blaze Pose and MediaPipe, I think both are from Google again, but there are a lot of Google models today. Bear with me. So Blaze Pose and MediaPipe help you identify, as you can see in the images up there, different bone sections in your body. And why is that useful? For example, if you're trying to make a, let's say, who has played Wii Sports? Okay, we see. All right. Who had a Kinect growing up with their Xbox?
I didn't.
There we
I
go.
was jealous.
A lot of games that are made on Kinect worked with the same structure, where they connected dots between different parts of the body that they saw and replicated it in the games. And they can be used for different vision things as well. For example, we demoed a rock, paper, scissors game in the week of welcome that was using MediaPipe, but it's pretty cool overall, I would say.
Thank you very much. So yeah, those are pretty good for vision tasks, like he said, and like if you want to make some type of application based on like the camera and what you can see, I think they're pretty the most popular way to use them right now is like for little games and stuff. But there's so many so much opportunity there, so definitely look into that. And then these next companies, I kind of grouped five here together, and there's so many more. And I probably should have put this at the end, honestly, because this is a lot. But Cerebras, Lambda, Grok, but not like the X Grok, like a different company Grok. Scale AI and Together.ai are all examples of AI hosting services. So like, let me give you guys a quick breakdown of what AI hosting services are and what they can provide. The most popular thing that they usually give developers is like inference for like APIs. So for example, say you want to post or host the application on the web or something, and like you don't want to keep your computer constantly running with the model. Well, tools like this have APIs. Like they basically have in their warehouse somewhere GPUs running these models at all times, and then they give you services to those models that are running on those GPUs by giving you like an API, and then so you could use that straight from like these companies. And it comes at a cost, but I'm gonna be honest, the cost is really like negligible as long as you're not making like some heavy production based application. Like for example, I think I put an example is OpenAI has one. OpenAI has like APIs for like their GPT models, and I think they're even on the more expensive ends. And I put like $10 in like 6 months ago, and I'm old. I have like $7.80 left, and I've been using it for a ton of different projects. So that should gives you an idea of how like affordable a lot of these inference tools are. So like if you just want to make a resume project incorporating API or AI in some way, but you don't want to know how to host it, inference is from one of these companies, or like there's a ton more out there. It's definitely the way to go. And then Together AI and probably a lot of these other companies, I didn't look into all of them, kind of give you access to fine-tuning models. Again, the whole idea of these AI hosting services is that they like host the models for you. So like again, if you don't want to have something running on your system all times and you don't have like the money for like 100 NVIDIA A300s or A100s or something, if you don't have that money, well then this is like a really affordable way to do it. So if you could just call straight with their inference tool, you could fine tune models on their GPUs. Or if you don't want them to have like control over the model and you want to maybe train your own model, they even host GPU clusters. So you could like just decide like, okay, I want to like host this thing. I think it'll take like eight A100 like NVIDIA GPUs. Then they're gonna give you the access to those at a much cheaper price than obviously buying them yourselves. Like buying them yourselves would be ridiculous. But yeah, so if you want to do something like that, I would definitely look into a lot of these websites if you're like interested in training your own models or like using language models like in your apps. Okay. Okay, so now moving forward, GitHub Copilot. Have any of you used GitHub Copilot? You have? Okay, cool. What do you guys think of it, by the way? I'll start with you. What do you think?
I barely use it, but
Mhm.
it seems, I guess, honestly, I'm not too sure. It's like comparable to like ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. Same thing for you, or how's your experience with
I
it?
use it for like, putting together simple code. So for example, making a simple for loop or something.
I see.
Versus like if you make more complex project, use the AI on the website.
I see. Okay. So yeah, kind of like what they were talking about. Basically, all GitHub Copilot is like a built-in coding assistant, and it's like basically if ChatGPT was on your IDE and helping you while you're coding. And so that's a pretty cool tool to use, and I know it's popular. I've heard like mixed reviews on it. That's why I kind of asked them what their thoughts were. I had some people really like it. Some people are like, this is the worst thing I've ever used. So you could check it out and see yourself. And then there's a lot more promising tools out there that are still developing because like developer AI tools it's like a booming market right now, especially because I mean like it's just impressive how these AI tools are able to replicate code. Like people are, saying they're gonna lose jobs to AI and stuff. So it's like, whoa, how these things are really that good. And so a lot of people are just trying to incorporate them when they're coding, and I would recommend you do the same. But some more examples that I have are Aider, which is I looked into it a little bit. It was really cool. It was like a command line interface tool for like file sorting, and basically like you do like slash AI space and then give it some file names and it'll automatically sort the files, or like give it like a directory or a couple directories and then it'll like resort the files depending on what you want. I mean, like I don't know. I only looked into it a little bit, but from what I saw, it did stuff like that, and I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive because I don't know how to sort files. So like that'd probably be pretty useful. And so and another booming like AI developer area is like AI based IDEs. So Cursor and Windsurf are example of probably the two most popular ones that I know of. I could be missing some. And obviously there's like IDEs out there that incorporate AI, but they're not really considering themselves AI based, like Replit, for example. I know it has AI, and like there's probably AI extensions on VS Code and stuff. But yeah, Cursor and Windsurf are two AI based IDEs where it'll help you do that stuff while you're coding. And so on the right side or the pictures, we have Llama versus DeepSeek over there in the top right. And then Together AI, this kind of was talking about with the inference fine-tuning GPU clusters. It gives you a pretty good summary of what they are right there. Okay, and so that's it for the developer AI tools. And I think I'm gonna give it over to Soroush for the time being.
Thank you, Shaun. Thank you. All right. So, coming out of the developer space, there are a lot more tools that we can use in our everyday lives. So, I'm assuming a lot of people have already used Grammarly. It's a literal lifesaver, honestly. But they also came up with a AI helper or writer that helps you make sense of what you've written, rephrase, make sure everything works in the sentence. Another example of Grammarly would be, let's see, let me move Camille a little bit. Sorry, Camille. All right, so another example that you guys may also have heard of is Quillbot, hopefully for good reasons and not for rephrasing GPT text. But yeah, they are pretty popular nowadays, especially for students. And I encourage you to use it. What's the word?
To rephrase GPT.
No, not that. I encourage you to use it, but wisely. So now moving on, we have Jasper, which is it's actually pretty cool. If you guys ever struggle to come up with the idea for example, a LinkedIn post or a post you want to post on social media, it's a little more professional than what you're used to, just like photo dumps and stuff. Jasper has got you covered. It's actually one of the top tools for social media marketing teams, and they have a lot of resources. The pricing is pretty good, but again, I think everything is almost going to the way of being paid for AI stuff. So we can't really expect anything for free, but it is a good tool overall. Now, Pseudowrite is something that I came across pretty recently. You can have stories or fictions being written in the same style as your favorite author. Now, it's actually pretty cool. So it doesn't need to be in, for example, if you think of an author, they write in sci-fi and you want to write something in their words, but let's say history related. It can do that for you. And it actually does a pretty decent job at it. Any questions? Any comments? All right. And Type AI is also similar to Jasper, I believe. It is a professional writing assistant. It helps you write articles. It helps you summarize stuff in a more professional manner. And let's see, moving on, we have some of the text-to-speech type of models. I'll explain. These are really, really cool. So we have Morph AI, which I think a lot of people have seen at least one or two Instagram reels with them, like voiceovers and like Peter Griffin talking, reading lyrics to Travis Scott or something. That's what that is. So they have a bunch of like celebrities or actors that you can feed into and give them text, and they will give back, for example, a generated voice that you can use or generated speech. But also, I believe you can record your own voice and have it talk for you. It's actually pretty cool. Moving Camille again. Yeah, okay. 11 Labs is pretty similar in the sense, but the difference between 11 Labs and Murph AI is that 11 Labs can also make your voice or make the text you give it more like a what do you call it? A podcast type of recording. So audiobooks, voice cloning, voiceovers are some of the features that it has. It is pretty good. It does have a free trial for I think 14 days. I am not sure. Did you?
Yeah, I didn't
I
look
think
at the free.
no, I think it's 14 days. I am not sure of that. But
But also, wait, one more thing about 11 Labs too. I think it has a feature where like it reads like straight, like if you want to read an article, like for example, if you're given like some reading assignment for like some concept class you're not trying to do or something, and then you want it kind of like in a video format instead, I think it'll be able to like read the text that's on your screen.
oh wow,
Yeah, yeah.
awesome. Will it add Subway Surfers to it? Or-
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. One thing I'm pretty excited about, Bland. This is a more of a financial institute type of tool that you might have heard of its voice, but never knew what it was. So it is, you know how you call, for example, the bank, and it's an AI assistant talking to you, and you say, I want to do this, and it doesn't understand you. So let's say this is that on steroids. It works flawlessly. It's like you're having a full-on conversation with someone who understands what's going on. And some of the developers in the team actually reach out to the companies, make it personalized for the needs of your own or your institution per se. For example, let's say you have a car company, you're selling cars, and you want to eliminate a lot of the people who talk on the phone for openings. Hi, who may I route you to? How can I help? You can use this, and this guy will automatically route you to customer service, to making a deal, to, for example, taking credit card information. It's actually really good. I encourage you to try it. They have a line on their website. You can call on your phone and just talk to it. See it for yourselves. It's really fun. And next we have one other tool mainly. Have you guys heard of Motion? There are a lot of Instagram ads going on for this. Yeah. So it's a calendar that uses AI to organize and plan everything for you. So yeah, so besides the things that are fixed, like you will say, oh, from like 3:30 to 5:30, I have this class. You give it that, but then you say, I have this and this task as well. It will take those and take all of your empty time space, fit it into there. It works pretty nicely. And also, one thing that it does, it adjusts to your pacing and how much you want to do as it goes. It learns how you like to do things. So if you do things in, for example, nighttime better or complete more tasks at nighttime rather than like daytime, it will suggest you to do them during the night. It's really good. I really encourage you guys to try it.
Don't stop.
And two more. So, music generation is a very cool but niche topic in AI. Not a lot of companies have invested time into it. There's music FX from Google. Yay, Google again. There's music FX from Google, and I think Meta has a model called Music Gen, but they don't, it's open source model, but they don't have it available anywhere hosted. It uses text. You give it a genre, you give it like a topic to talk about, and then generates music for like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 1 minute. And although it's a little finicky at times, sometimes it generates some bangers, not gonna lie. Perplexity AI is a search engine that uses AI. So it's similar to, let's say, the search feature that you have on OpenAI's GPT regularly, but it focuses more on researching and does a better job at finding specific things that you're asking it to. It's fine-tuned to do exactly that and nothing around it, which makes it more of a focused model. And it never ends.
Never ends. And I will take it away. Thank you so much, Soroush. So as you guys can see, there's a ton of AI tools, and honestly, we haven't even like really scratched the surface. There's so many other topics that we didn't even get to today on like our areas where AI tools are being used. So I'm gonna go over them really quickly, and just to kind of give you guys an idea, and maybe like if you want to use them in one of these areas, you can. So the first one being research. This is one of like the fastest growing areas where AI tools are being like fine-tuned into because a lot of people are realizing that like with the advancements of these large language models, they're really good at like inference and solving problems, even better than us a lot of the time. And so they're really trying to fine tune these models more into research. And there's so many. I think all the big AI companies have like this research version of their models or like a research option. And there's a lot of fine-tuned versions out there. So if you're interested and you're doing like some research on your own, check that out. And then video and image editing. As you guys have probably seen, I know Apple Intelligence is really trying to promote it right now. And then also Photoshop. Have you used Photoshop? Yeah. Photoshop is a big one too. Where like, it basically just does the job for you. Like say you're trying to get rid of an image, but you don't want to mess up the background behind it before, you'd probably have to be pretty good at like some image editing and like do like probably put in hours to be good at something like that. But now you can just like take a tool, like mask it, and then all of a sudden it's gone. So it basically just like eases people into these like areas or it kind of breaks down the barrier of entry for like image and video editing. So anyone could do it now, basically. And then we have speech models. I know we kind of talked about text-to-speech models. What I mean by speech models here is like Siri or like I know OpenAI kind of released something. I don't know what their model was called, but the one that can talk to you. What is that one called? Was that O1?
Whisper.
Was it Whisper?
Whisper.
Okay, yeah, Whisper. And I've heard like some cool use cases. At first, I was like, okay, you're lazy. Like, why don't you just type it in? It's like you're probably just worsening the output by talking to it. But then like I heard like this use case where this dude was on like an hour-long drive, and then he just was like trying to learn more like Spanish or like Japanese or something. So he was just talking to like some, I think the OpenAI version, and be like, okay, give me some phrases in like Japanese and I'll try to guess what they are. And then they were just like talking for an hour on his drive. I was like, wow, that's actually pretty useful. So like, there's a lot of potential behind those types of speech models.
Before you continue, I
Yeah.
apologize. Whisper is not the model. Whisper is speech to text model from OpenAI,
I
and
see.
it is just the O.
Yeah,
model.
that's what I thought. I thought it was just like O1 or something. But I think they're making more models. I think O3 might have a feature.
I have not seen it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyways, there's tons out there. And then gaming, I saw like I know probably a lot of you play like League of Legends or something, right? So like I like the Tyler one AI where he's like coached or like getting coached or you can get coached in the middle of your games. I don't know. I don't know if you're a gamer like that and that sounds funny to you or like you think maybe it'll help. Maybe it does. You could check that out. And there's presentation builders. One of my professors from last year, 329, like the new one. She said she made her presentations with AI, and I was like, what the heck? That's crazy. Like they're presentation builders. So yeah, who knows if this PowerPoint was really made by us? This could have just all been made by AI. And then finally, organization. There's a ton of organization tools. We kind of went over it with like Motion. But like there's things that like organize like your notes, your ideas. They could like kind of like the what was it called? Like Aider from earlier. They could organize code bases and like your folder system and your code base and stuff. And so there's a bunch of organization tools that are out there that we didn't really go over today. But yeah, so this gives you kind of an idea. And again, I put this model or not this model, this image at the start. But here it is again. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't cover that's in there. But as you can see, there's a bunch of different branches, and I don't even think this image really represents all of the branches of these AI tools. But yeah. And so closing thoughts, excuse me, Camille. Um, First of all, this was probably pretty daunting. You're like, okay, a lot of these I like there's just like AI startups are just trying to get rich. Like, why would I try to use it? And so I would say this is probably the cheapest, like what he was saying, everything's gonna get more expensive, everything's gonna get paywalled because people are starting to unlock like the potential with these AI tools. So I would try them out, especially with all the free trials out there and stuff. Just try some stuff out. If you don't like it, at least you know. But if you do like it, maybe it'll like, boost your productivity more than you've ever imagined. And my second thing is don't forget that these are still just tools. A lot of us just like like 50% of our degrees are just like ChatGPT. But like realistically, like you don't forget that they're not supposed to be like your servants. You're supposed to use them as tools. And so like use them to learn and like really take advantage of their power for like productivity. But remember that at the end of the day, it's you're the one using them. So yeah, that's pretty important. And then finally, this should have shown you guys that like the possibilities for AI in this day and age are endless. So especially if you're a developer or interested, or you were previously interested in making like AI applications, this should show you that there's just like so many things you can do and like just really just jump into a niche, and I bet you AI can be incorporated somehow. But yeah, that's it for the workshop. Now we're gonna start with the announcements, and I'm actually gonna take that over. But before we close out the workshop, we have any questions about AI tools that anyone has, or maybe something that we talked about today? Yeah. Uh, for preparation for the datathon, you're free to play around with them. We're not planning to for like any upcoming workshops or anything, tell you more about what types of tools you can use. But also in the datathon, I'm not gonna be like you guys can't use like ChatGPT or something. You're open to it. Just remember that at the end of the day, like you're really just trying to get a project and learn out of it. So just use it to learn. But again, like you're open to use AI tools during the datathon in preparation or just making projects day to day. Does that kind of answer your question? Yeah. Oh, okay. So like are you just talking about like what kind of models we're gonna be building around? Would so that's a little bit different. And actually I'm gonna get into that next slide. So just hold that thought. And I had another question over you. Okay, so awesome. Yeah, that's it. So let me say anything. Yeah.
What's that AI tool that you were talking about rephrasing?
Quillbot.
Oh, Quillbot. Yeah, Quillbot. It basically just a rephrasing AI. Like people make jokes that like, oh, like I don't want to, copy paste from ChatGPT, so let me run it through Quillbot so like the teachers don't know or something. They probably still know. But like yeah, it's just like a rephrasing tool. And yeah, you got a question? Okay, okay, cool. Yeah.
What are your all's like thoughts on Cursor?
Cursor, see, personally, I've never used it, but I've seen stuff about it. Have you used it before?
Yeah, I've like used it somewhat.
So how is it? Is it like how does it even really work? Is it just kind of like the Replit AI where it kind of just helps you?
I think it's like ChatGPT, like I was gonna like about it because like it almost feels like it's like exactly the same thing.
Really? They just integrated the OpenAI API and others.
Yeah.
I saw a Reddit post. Sorry, I saw a Reddit post the other day about Cursor. The guy didn't back up any of his files and did not do any version control whatsoever. Put his code in Cursor and ruined it. The code didn't run anymore, and he couldn't backtrack. So
That's
use
crazy.
it wisely.
Yeah, that's a little dangerous. Okay, yeah.
Similar to GitHub Copilot when you're using it for coding. My cousin uses it for his like data science stuff, and like it's just like a more smart version of
Oh, okay.
Copilot. You just like you use it for filler code.
Yeah, it's probably fine-tuned on like mostly like coding things. So I'd imagine it's probably a little bit stronger in those ways. But yeah, okay, cool, thanks. Let me see if there's anything in the chat too before we continue. What pixel promoted? Oh, I think you're talking about like something old there. So let me just move on. Okay, and so that's it for the workshop today. And so now we have some big announcements. Yeah, okay. Drum roll, please. Drum roll. Datathon, you guys already knew about it, but we have more stuff. We have more stuff that we want to tell you guys in preparation for it, okay? And there's a lot on this. I would take a picture of this, but we'll also post all of it in Discord, so you don't have to. But I'm gonna go down the side real quick. This is all kind of Datathon related and just upcoming club specific workshops and events that we have. So first we have AI data. The sign up closes this Sunday at 11:59. So if you have not signed up already, please do. Right now we've actually got more submissions than we thought, and so some people might end up getting waitlisted. We're gonna try to sneak as many people in there as we can, but we do have like a limit on how many people we can accept. But everyone should be getting in for the most part. But just expect that just in case. But yeah, if you haven't signed up, closes this Sunday. Our next UBM is gonna be March 5th. I just want to say that right now before people start forgetting. That's 2 weeks from today. It could change. I don't think it will, but just expect it. It's gonna be every Wednesday, every 2 weeks. Next AI training. I don't know. Was anyone here for the first one? Raise your hand if you were here for the first one, machine learning. Thank you. You guys are the best. You guys are the best ever. Okay. We're gonna have AI training number 2. This one's gonna be like data science 101. The first one was really introductory to like machine learning and like getting people like comfortable with the topics. This one's gonna be more of like a fire hose of like information, and I don't really expect a lot of things to stick. I'm just hoping to throw like a bunch of information at you, and then hope that like whatever you take out of it is something that'll be useful to you. But that will be happening this upcoming Monday over Zoom again. I don't have a time plan, but I think last time it was from like 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'll probably end up doing around the same time, so just expect that. And then the big one, road to AI data. Wow, we're really spoiling you guys here. So basically, the week of the datathon, we're gonna do a workshop every day covering major topics within data science, and it's basically to prepare you guys for the datathon. And I'm gonna talk about each one of them more on the right side here. So again, on the right side, the ones at the top I already talked about. AI data submission closed Sunday, AI training on Monday, and then our next GBM is gonna be March 5th. So now let me tell you guys about Road to AI Data. This is our like a workshop program, kind of like what I said. And it's gonna be 5 days, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday will be the datathon. And so I'm gonna go day by day here. So first one, EDAs, exploring your data. If you don't know what an EDA is, it's like an exploratory data analysis. It's basically like 80% of the work when you're actually making like a data science project, or what you'll be doing on the datathon, is basically reading and understanding your data. So that's probably the most important one. So you guys should like bookmark that one if you don't want to make it to any of the other ones. And all these are also going to be posted online. So if you can't make it for whatever reason, like maybe it's a time issue, that's fine. And day 2 through day 4 are going to be each one of the pillars. So around this time, you guys should know if you've been accepted or not, and hopefully you have. And if you have, I would definitely suggest starting to plan around which one you want to go into, because all the pillars are very different. And so if you really want to try to win a prize, just like not really having a good idea or like a broad idea of all of them isn't a good idea. I would really focus on one of these pillars that interests you the most. And so we have supervised, unsupervised, and vision models. Day 2, day 3, and day 4, and it's gonna be what they sound like. We're basically gonna like walk you through each one of like the processes for each of these specific types of models, as well as the popular models for like classification, regression, supervised or unpopular, unsupervised models, and like strategies there to try to help you on your way for the actual datathon. And so that's gonna be 2 through 4. And then day number 5 is how to win AI data. So if you want to win, definitely show up to number 5. I would say this is probably the second most important one behind the EDA's one. And this one will basically just be showing you guys how to pitch your project, because if you're gonna be participating in the datathon, we have a pitching segment and like a judging segment where basically they're gonna ask you stuff like, how did you come up with this? Like, how did you know how to do that? Stuff like that. And basically it'll kind of help you, or like teach you how to drive through your thought process when you're making a model. And so you're able to do that to the judges the day of. And then the last day is going to be March 8th. That's going to be the day of the datathon. Okay. So those were the big announcements. We have tons of workshops coming up. And again, if you don't accept it and you're not, or maybe you're not even interested in AI data, maybe you have work that day and you're just unlucky or something and you can't make it and you didn't sign up for something, you're free to still show up to these workshops. I actually would really advise that you do if you're interested in data science or machine learning or even AI at all. This gives you like a good peek into like what that whole area is. So if you just want to check it out, I would definitely show up to one of these. But yeah, so any questions about this? This like road to AI data, the datathon, this is the time to ask questions. Yeah. We're still figuring that out right now, because each day is probably gonna be a little bit different, depending on the person. But you should know the week before. But yeah, those are the days. We don't have times out right now. But yeah.
Are those in person only?
I think they'll probably honestly be online only, because that's if we're gonna be walking you through code and stuff. It's probably best to just do it over Zoom so we don't have to talk in front of people. But some of them might be in person, and we'll let you guys know. But we only have this room Monday or Wednesday, so it'd have to be one of those days. So yeah, probably not though. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. Yeah, we'll be posting the recordings for every one of the workshops, and we'll try to get it posted the day of. if not the day after, and they'll all be available by the datathon at the very least.
Sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
Datathon, any?
Yeah, so you have to be yeah, you have to sign up if you haven't already. It's on our Datathon website, which is going to be on our announcements in Discord. But it's only open to Cal State Long Beach students, okay? So if your friend from UCI wants to like hop in, they can. Okay, so just letting you guys know. All right, yeah.
How many people have signed up?
I haven't checked, but I think it's like it's probably around 50 plus, and we could only admit around like 40, 45. So yeah. So it's just gonna be a couple unlucky people. But honestly, yeah, yeah, just because that's what the budget accounted for, so we can't really do much about that. Yeah.
But you could still show up even if you're not, or is it gonna be online?
Okay, well, it's gonna be in person all day at the ballroom, and I don't think we're gonna post any part of it online day of. I think if you're waitlisted or you're accepted, show up. If you're not, if you got like straight up denied for whatever reason, I would say don't show up or else we might get in trouble. That's the only reason why. Because we booked the room specifically for a specific amount of people, and if we go over, I think they might fine us or something, and we don't have the money, so we can't really deal with that. Yeah.
Do you join if it was virtual?
I mean, like, we have to talk about that. I don't know if that's really that possible. It is possible, but like, we only have like it's set up for like the amount of people that we chose. So, okay, we'll talk about that. Maybe there's a chance though. Yeah.
Get a free entry for giving you guys
Maybe. Oh shoot, it's getting kind of late. Oh, maybe
It's okay to do it, because we wouldn't want to like go through all the Discord process, like making a different channel, all that, for just person.
All right, and I'm gonna give it to Fozhan here. Sorry, you only have like 5 minutes. I'm so sorry, Fozhan. Our next to you?
Yes. Sitting next to you.
There's one standing. This one.
Yeah.
Right there.
We're not moving. So that's why, as a woman here and a woman in data science, I wanted to promote this. This is basically like a datathon that's going to be, there's two actually, Women in Data Science Datathon, which is from September, it started already until June, and then we have one from January to April. So you could basically bond with other people. And then the goal here is to give equal opportunity to women and men. I know it's like a tough topic, but it's like two women and two men in each group, like at least like half. And what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna host these workshops with women in computing, which I'm talking to them about it, and I'm a treasurer, so I'm just gonna do it. But the reason why is that most people here are men. And if we have like a little bit of women showing up, that really means a lot to me. So that's why I'm hosting this series of workshops to prepare you guys for these projects that they're going to work on. And it's actually a very cool topic. It's like mysteries of the female brain. I like it. I don't know if you guys are going to be interested, but here we have like the information. I'm going to start actually, I'm going to talk about this. Start the workshops basically from March. Right before the datathon, I'm just going to have like groups to be bonded, and then we're going to have 4 weeks of workshops set for that. And then I'm gonna be the instructor. So if you don't like me, go to Shaun's workshops. But then what's gonna happen is that I'm just gonna go over the theory behind machine learning a little bit. We already did this like before January, so that's nothing we're gonna worry about much. Then we're gonna have Python programming, then data wrangling, and then we're gonna have TensorFlow, scikit-learn, and then data visualization. And this is basically, oh, that's pretty cool. So March 6th is where I'm gonna have like the first workshop. It's gonna be on data sets and forming the groups and everything. That's probably gonna be in Women in Computing's room, so it's not gonna be here. I'm gonna post like an announcement, like probably next week. And then March 8th is the datathon. So here I'm probably gonna like have if anyone wants to like form a group there because it's a chance to meet other people. You're gonna be able to do that. And then March 10th to 6th, we're gonna have we're just gonna talk about cleaning the data set, like cleaning the data that we have, March 17th to 23rd. We're gonna do data analysis, and then March 26th, we're gonna fit the model, and then I think April was the date for the first one. Then there is this other one which is Datathon Plus Plus, which is a little bit easier actually. It's introductory, and this we're gonna have like more workshops going on in the future on it. But since we're preparing for that first one as well, that's like a university challenge. Basically all the stuff that we're gonna talk there are gonna be useful for this one as well. They're kind of similar. One of them you just have more time and it's like more introductory. Any questions on this?
Wait, I had a question on the last slide.
Yes.
Wait, can you go back to the last slide real quick? It says that out of this typo is from September 2024, so has it already started, or is this going to be?
It has already started. So it's like they already like announced the Kaggle and data sets and all that. And then we have until like June 25, like 2025 to submit.
So Women Data Science is hosting a datathon for stock, right? When do I start applying?
You can apply at any time, as long as you have like a group set. You can just I'm gonna post the link and everything, and then you can apply.
Do you have to be in the datathon in person?
No, it's online. That's it. And then yeah, here's I think it's like the link tree.
Yeah, that's a
It
link
has
tree.
everything. And then if you haven't signed up for AX data, sign up. And then we have AX mentor already like we announced some people.
Oh, yeah, so if you guys signed up for it, we've already chosen.
We are always up for
We're always
more
open for,
people.
right? There's actually a couple officers that didn't get any mentees, so.
That's why like I'm promoting it.
Yeah, right.
So if you guys want to be the next me,
Wow.
correct? Yeah, I think it's kind of running out of time. So thank you everybody for showing up, and like we'll stay here a little bit after, but I think there's a class at 12:30, so we don't want to linger too long. We'll probably be here till for the next like 10 minutes. But thank you everybody on Zoom who joined too. If you have any other questions, put them in the chat. We'll try to answer them. But everyone in
Hey,
person,
real quick,
we have
can I
donuts.
make an announcement real quick?
Oh yeah, what's up?
Yeah. Is it loud enough for everyone to hear?
Yeah, we can all hear. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, I'm an officer of women in computing, and I'd like to introduce you all to a very excellent opportunity. It's called Breakthrough Tech. And how many of you have heard of that before?
I have.
hmm And how many of you in the room or on Zoom are third years or below?
There's a lot of people in person raising their hands.
Yeah. Yeah, so Breakthrough Tech AI is a pretty amazing opportunity. It's basically a year-long program that starts in the beginning of summer and continues for the next school year. And what you all get to do is you get to work with a company to build a new project. Like, for example, our president, Christina Lee, she worked with the Goldhurst Foundation. And let me see what she did. So she worked to help create an AI chatbot to connect nonprofits initiatives with donor and volunteer efforts throughout the LA area. And so what she learned how to do is to implement NLP to improve search results on the LA 2050 website.
That's cool.
And yeah, so the application deadline is coming soon. I've posted the slides that were presented at our Breakthrough Tech info session yesterday in the general chat of the AI Research Club Discord.
Oh, okay, cool. We'll
And
probably make our own channel for that.
yeah, if you do choose to apply, though, do be sure to mention on the very last page of the application that Christina Lee, president of Women in Computing, referred you, and that'll increase your chances of getting in.
Yeah. Thank you
So
so
yeah,
much for sharing that. Round of applause for
that's
Gaurav.
all.
Yeah, honestly, this was something that I learned about kind of late. This is something that they do like yearly. I don't know when they start, but like it's a really free experience in AI. So if you can't land that AI internship and you want to get into the field, just sign up and they literally hook you up with like projects and like mentor you through the whole thing. So it's super cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah.